Hello, welcome to a new reading vlog. So I have decided to split these reading vlogs in half. In the last reading vlog, I read, I'll put the pictures up right here, The Savior's Champion by Jenna Mauricio. Sorry, I think by Jenna M. And I also read Into the Drowning Deep by Myra Grant. So if you want to hear about my thoughts in detail about those, watch that vlog. This vlog, I'm going to focus on The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss and also Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. So I have just started The Name of the Wind. I'm only 57 pages in, but I'm really enjoying it. This is the one, you're gonna hear my kid. This is the one I've been dreading the most because I've heard it's the slowest of all of them and it's quite big. It's like 650 pages, which I think like Mistborn was, so it's not like that crazy, but I've been dreading it, like I said, because I've heard it's really a slow type of book. This is about a character named, oh goodness, I can't, Kovoth, I want to say his name is. Basically, he's running this in this, you know, fantastical world, and this chronicler that chronicles a lot of history and stuff finds him because Kovoth has been called many things, like a kingslayer. Kovoth, yeah, he's been called like the Kingslayer, like a hero, things like that. And the chronicler wants to like record his history, and he's only like in his 20s. So basically this book I think is told over 3 days of Kovoth telling his life story. So that's why it's kind of slow. It's more character driven because we're getting a history of this character. So I just now have gotten to the part where he has just started his story. So it's interesting so far because I don't really know this character a lot. I don't know, I've heard there are so many people that this is their favorite book of all time. So yeah, I don't know when. I have a whole bunch of tabs in it. I don't know why, but I don't know when I'm gonna finish it. My plan is, because I have 2 more weeks in March, I want to finish this by Sunday. I want to finish this by Sunday. I'm gonna give myself a week to read this, and hopefully I can do that. I just worry it's gonna be slow and I'll just not read as much as I should. So yeah, and then my last book will be Neverwhere, which is only like 200 and something pages, I think, so that should be easy. I have a zit right here, forgive me for that. But yeah, get ready for another sporadic reading vlog. I've told you guys I told you guys our life is very chaotic right now with our house being for sale and all that kind of stuff, so it's just a chaotic mess up in here constantly, so just forgive me. These are going to be strictly focused on me reading, and there won't be a ton of like montages and personal life. That's just how it's gonna be. That's gonna be the easiest for me, this reading vlog. I'll probably just do this since it's a book mail. So yeah, I'll update you probably in a day or so of just letting you know what I think about it so far. Right now I'm enjoying it. I don't find it slow yet at all. Who knows how I'll feel in like 50 or so pages. We'll see. Hi, happy Monday. I don't have an update in reading. I'm 100 and something pages in. Not a ton has happened in the book because it's a slow book, but I have a ton of book mail and I thought, hey, why not share it with you? So the first thing I got is from Quark Books, and it is A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Sorry, it's backwards. And this is the poetry of Mr. Rogers, and you can tell all the characters are on it. I didn't watch a lot of Mr. Rogers growing up. I watched some of it, but I'd say mostly I watch a lot of Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood now because my son loves it so much. So as soon as I open this, I'm like, oh, it's Daniel Tiger, and oh, the L, and the King. So either way, there's the whole neighborhood, and it's just full of like poetry and stuff, which is great. I'm gonna save this for my son and things like that because he loves Daniel Tigers, and I love just the message that Mr. Rogers has taught throughout this whole generation, and new kids are learning about it, and Daniel Tiger teaches it too. So that is so awesome. It's a beautifully designed book. I can't get over how beautiful it is, and the illustrations again are just stunning in it. So thank you so much, Quark Books. Then I got sent a package from Disney that I am very excited about. They sent me, because if you didn't know, Mary Poppins Returns came out a few months ago. I saw it in theaters and enjoyed it, but they sent me the box set of Mary Poppins. So this is all of like the original ones. Well, I'm sure not like the original covers, but we have Mary Poppins, the first one. Then we have Mary Poppins Comes Back. Then we have Mary Poppins Opens the Door. And then Mary Poppins in the Park. So I have this awesome little box set that I'm going to cherish forever. Again, all these books I'm kind of saving for my son too, because he loves books so much, and whenever I have the opportunity to get kind of like children's books that are a little bit older than him, I save them and hold on to them for when he's ready. They sent me like this little book looking thing that has Mary Poppins Returns on it. It's really beautiful. It is actually a fake book. It's like a book safe, which I really adore. It came with like this, I don't know, this is like it's a bookmark, but it's like a magnifying glass. So if you want to look up something really close, which I'm sure I'm gonna need in a few years because I'm getting old. But inside, they also sent me this really awesome book light, which I actually need a lot because I read at night a lot, and that's really awesome. And they also sent me the digital codes for both the original Mary Poppins, which I grew up with and I love and adore. And they also sent me the digital code for the newest one, Mary Poppins Return. So that is awesome. It's freaking adorable. I love how it's like a little book safe. It's beautiful. I love it a lot. So thank you so much to Disney for sending me this. I highly appreciate it. Can't wait to take photos of it. Can't wait to save both of these for my son. And then lastly, I was on a Twitter discussion a few weeks ago, and I forget who exactly, please forgive me, but Savvy the Book Royal, I'm looking at their profile right now, had just tweeted that they found a hardcover copy of The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo signed to Heather in the thrift store, and they already had a copy, but they just bought it anyway, and they were like, I don't know what to do with it. And somebody else tweeted and said, hey, maybe Bookables will want it. So I cannot remember their name. I apologize so much. I'm gonna try. It was Paige over at Paige Squared said, hey, maybe Heather from Bookables will want it. And then I got up in that conversation, was like, yes, I would love it. So they so graciously sent me the copy they bought at the thrift store. And so obviously it's a hardcover copy, and it says on it, to Heather, so nice meeting you, Taylor Jenkins Reid. Usually I'm not like a huge crazy person when it comes to autographed books, but I mean, the opportunity presented itself and I took it. And I have the paperback book. I have the paperback version. And I actually prefer the hardback one. I think it just looks nicer. It's cleaner, which it doesn't fit in with my Taylor Jenkins Reid books because now I have 2 hardbacks and like 5 paperbacks. But either way, thank you so much to Savvy the Book Royal for sending me this. I am forever grateful. This is going on my shelf. I'm so excited. I'm even excited this says to Heather on it because I know I don't say I freak out about autographed copies, but I kind of am because you guys know I love some Taylor Jenkins Reid. So yeah, that's my quick little book mail update for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I don't think I'm getting any other book mail this week, which is a good thing because I already have too much as it is. But either way, I'll probably update you tomorrow on the name of the wind. Right now I'm on page 130. I'm enjoying it. Again, it's slow, so I'm reading it very slow. So yeah, I have to go to do errands and things. But yeah, I'll check in with you guys later. Hello, today is Thursday, the 21st. Hi. Just wanted to update you guys on what I'm reading. So I am now, how many pages am I into this? I'm over halfway through, I'd say officially now. Almost, maybe. I'm on page 380. Not gonna lie to you guys, I am very much struggling with this book. This is a long book, perhaps the longest I've read all month. It is officially 660 pages, so it's really lengthy. And it's just a very slow going book. I can't say I wasn't warned about that when starting it, because a lot of people told me, yes, it is an amazing book, but it's a character's development, like their life story, so it's very slow. There's not much plot. It's just character. So I was like, okay, I know about it. I didn't think it would be this slow, though. I'm enjoying it. I'm not loving it as much as other people. I don't know if it'll pick up at any point, but I'm liking it. Like, it's taking me a long time to read this. I think I had tabbed it for me to finish it. Like, this is where I was supposed to read, like, last night, and I'm not even there yet. So today I'm supposed to read to there. Do I think that's gonna happen? Probably not. And I was supposed to finish this, let's see, I was supposed to read today, tomorrow. I was supposed to finish this by Saturday. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be maybe Sunday or Monday. It's just slow. Like, I'm enjoying it, but I'm not loving it. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. If I would rate it right now, I would rate it like a 4. I'm hoping that it's more, like, I'm much more interested in, like, Kovo's life now when they do flash forwards to, like, him being interviewed and stuff. I'm very invested in that storyline. I don't know why, but yeah, I feel like definitely the unpopular opinion here. But that's not to say I'm not enjoying it all. I am enjoying it, but it's just slower than I had anticipated, even though I was forewarned it was slow. I don't know if that makes any sense. I think let's do the calculations. I finished The Name of the Wind by the latest, by Monday, which would be the 25th. That gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days to read Neverwhere, which I think is okay. I would like to read it in like 4 because I like to film my wrap-ups a few days before the month ends, just for logistics and editing and all that stuff. So is it possible and feasible? I don't know, but yeah, that's my update for right now. I'm almost to page 400. I think tonight I'm going to try to get to 450. Happy Friday! Guess who finished hellaciously early? I did. I just finished The Name of the Wind. Yeah, I finished this. I feel insanely accomplished this year because I feel like I've already read 3 really big books. I read The Book Thief, that was quite long. I read Mistborn, that was quite long. And now I've read Name of the Wind. So I feel like I've already read 3 tomes, as they call it. That's over 500 pages, I think. Either way, I finished Name of the Wind. I have mixed feelings about this book. On one hand, I really enjoyed it and I really found it very immersive, very easy to get lost in. On the other hand, I didn't love it because it was so slow moving, but I understood why it was so slow moving, so I got a mixed bag of feelings. It's gonna take a while for it to settle for me, I think, because I just literally finished it like a minute ago. Do I think will give it a full 5 out of 5? Probably not, just because I didn't wholly love it. Like, books I get 5 out of 5, like, I just love. But I did really enjoy it. Do I see myself continuing on with the series? Yes. Am I rushing to do so? No. Like, I'm answering my own questions here. I know the second book is called The Wise Man's Fear, I believe, and I'm not rushing to get to it because I don't know when that got published, but it got published a while ago, and everybody's been waiting for a 3rd book for forever, and they don't know if it's ever going to come out, so that's why I'm like, I'll, you know, take my time with it. When we start to hear news about the 3rd book, if we ever do, then I'll for sure read the 2nd book, because I would like to read the 2nd book and then read the 3rd one with it still fresh in my mind. Does that make any sense? So I told you what this book's all about. It's basically about a man named Quoth who you hear, he's an innkeeper. He had a really insane life and he's quite young, and a chronicler comes to record his life story, and it's told like in the matter of 3 days of Quoth telling his life story up to a certain point, and then it's, you know, the 2nd book continues on from there. I don't know how long, like, I want to say Quoth started off talking when he was really young, like a child, like around 8, and then it ended when he was, I think, 16 in this book. So, it's interesting. I do really enjoy it, you know. So, there's a lot of magic in it, a lot of, like, sympathies, a lot of stuff. I will say the magic system is complicated. Like, there's a good majority of it, sorry, that I don't understand, and I don't know if I ever will understand. Gosh, I look so bad. But I did enjoy Quoth. I really enjoyed reading about his life up to a certain point, obviously, because I have to read the 2nd book, but it was interesting. There were some parts that were very, very slow, but then they had some parts that were really adventurous. Like, they found a dragon at one point, and he went off on this other adventure, and it was just, I did enjoy those parts, and I liked some of the slower parts, but overall, it's a slow-paced book because it is the life story of a character, so it's not like adventure, like plot. It's more character development, learning about them, learning about their life stories, and things like that. So, back at it again. So, to wrap up my feelings on Name of the Wind, yes, I enjoyed it. I didn't fully love it, as a lot of my friends do. I know it's Kristen's, like, favorite book of all time, Kristen Super Space Chick. I know Murphy just read this and loved it. I enjoyed it a ton. I think I just didn't love it as much, strictly for the fact of that I don't read a ton of adult fantasy. So I think that's my personal reasoning behind why I didn't give it like a full 5 out of 5, or why I didn't find myself fully in love with it. Like I said, it is a slow book. So would I recommend this to a starter reader for fantasy? Absolutely not. I do not think this is a starter fantasy book by any means. And a lot of people told me that. I had, like, everyone commented of how much they loved this book, but just as much as people were saying they loved it, they didn't think they would recommend it as a beginner fantasy book with adult fantasy books. So I can 100% see the reasoning why behind that, because of its slow pace. So yes, I enjoyed it. Right now I'm leaning towards a 4. If I did half ratings this year, which I've cut them out because I don't feel like dealing with it, I would give it like a 4.5. But as it stands right now, I'm giving it a 4. I need some more time to think about it, obviously, because I just read it. But I'm proud of myself that I read it. I'm not gonna lie. I think I finished it much quicker than I anticipated. The last quarter of the book flew. Like, the last quarter of the book was very fast paced, hence why I think I finished it quickly. But yeah, I would like to hear your opinions on this, because I don't know. I know a lot of people have opinions on it. So yeah, that's my opinion. I really enjoyed it, but I don't think it's a great beginner fantasy book. We are now officially on the last book of my TBR for the month. It is March 22nd. So I'm very ahead of schedule, so I can take my time with this, which I plan to do so. I don't know, I just like being ahead of, like, I want to finish this honestly by like Wednesday, because I really would like to film my wrap up on Thursday. That's how I read, and that's why I schedule videos. But I need to read Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. This is an adult sci-fi fantasy book. It says on the back, selected as one of the NPR's top 100 science fiction and fantasy books of all time. So this book is, I thought it was 200 pages. I was wrong. It's like 430, which is like 200 pages less than the book I just finished, so I'll take it. This one, I don't know much about. I'll update you soon. This is gonna be a really long vlog. Hope you're okay with that. Hello, everyone. It is Saturday. I don't know what date it is. March 20 something? I don't know. Yeah. This is an update. Not really. I told you guys I was starting Neverwhere. Guess how many pages I've heard of Neverwhere? 2. I haven't been into it at all. My husband and I stayed up late last night to watch The Way Back, which is one of our favorite movies of all time. And right now, I am alone in my house. I can't tell you how rarely that happens. Like, basically never. So we went to a friend's kid's birthday party today. One of my best friend's kids had a birthday, so we went there, and that was fun. And then, my husband decided to take Noah over to visit with his parents for a little bit, hence why I am alone. And in a couple hours, I'm gonna go see a movie with my friend. So yeah, this is like, it's amazing. Like, if you're a mom, I feel like you would appreciate this, because, like, you know, as a mom, you know, you're with your kid all the time. I'm with my child all the time, and I love him, but like, it drains me. Like, I was running on -50 for a long time, and we were just so busy with the house stuff, and we still are. Like, we're waiting right now. I don't know, house stuff, but it's nice to just have a break. So I'm so appreciative of my husband. He understands that I need breaks. He also needs breaks as well, but I think he knows, like, I'm with Noah all the time, so he knows how much I need them. But either way, right now I'm not reading. I'm just taking kind of like a mental health time right now. Like, I love reading, but like, I don't really want to. So what am I doing? I'm watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the very last episode of season 1, because if you guys didn't know, which is totally okay, I'm running this event called Slay Along, where it's a Buffy the Vampire Slayer watch along. Buffy is one of my all-time favorite shows. It's my first, like, ever fandom I fell in love with before Harry Potter even. I fell in love with it around 12. And it's been forever since I've rewatched it, so I decided to ask a few of my friends to co-host that love Buffy as well, and we're watching a season a month. This is the first month, so I'm just finishing up season 1. It's it's a sad one. If you've seen Buffy, the first season's not the best. I feel like that with a lot of shows. The first seasons, you're really testing your grounds, you're laying, you know, bridge work, all that kind of stuff, and it's just, Buffy is kind of hokey already, in my opinion, but I love it. But season 1 in general is just, it's not the best. But the last episode, the first episode, one in the middle, and the last episode are like my favorites of the whole season. But yeah, I'm doing that right now. I might start season 2, even though technically we're not supposed to start till April, but I'm just gonna try to get a head start. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Like I said, I'm gonna go see a movie with my best friend. We're gonna see Captain Marvel, which I'm so excited for. Matt and I were supposed to go together, but we just don't have a lot of childcare, honestly, so it's like one of us can go and then the other one watches it, that kind of thing. But I'm very excited to see it. I am so excited to like go out to a movie. It's one of my favorite things to do, is go out to a movie. But yeah, that's my plans right now. So I just wanted to update you with life. I'll update you probably tomorrow of what I feel about Captain Marvel. Maybe I'll read some of Neverwhere tonight. I don't know. I'm not in like a super big rush, but I'll read it. I'm just taking some me time. It doesn't happen often for me. Usually I'll be working at this time when I'm alone, either filming or editing, but I'm just like, no. I'm gonna relax and reset myself to just be ready for the week ahead and be the best mom and wife I could be. And sometimes that means taking time for yourself to relax, because it really does help fuel your tank. So doing that, and I'm pretty excited. Hello everyone, happy Tuesday, March 25th. I update you on Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman. I wanted to update you. I could talk. I'm also wearing a Gilmore Girls shirt because I found today. Wonder what I filmed. You'll see it really soon. I'm sure you can guess, but either way, it says Gilmore Girls and coffee. Then it says lots of and more coffee. So basically, I'm going to be living in this shirt because if you don't know, I'm obsessed with Gilmore Girls. And I have my jacket on because it's like 40 degrees outside. No big deal. Anyway, I'm on page 280 of Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a struggle right now, and I think because I talked to you guys, I don't know, a few days ago. I don't have a good memory. That I was struggling, and I'm not gonna, and that I wasn't lying, that I'm gonna be happy when this month is over because I'm kind of over fantasy. I know it's bad to say, but I am a person that, you know, likes to read multiple genres in one month and not stick to one genre like I'm doing this month. So I'm struggling, and it's definitely showing with this last book because it is enjoyable and I am liking it, but I'm not liking it as much strictly because I think I'm just tired of fantasy. So I don't know, like part of me, a lot of me really wants to DNF it and pick it up when I'm back in the fantasy mood and enjoy it for what it is and not be like, I have to read this because it's fantasy, because like I should probably do that, but my pride is definitely going to get the better of me, and I'm just going to have to finish it. The book is very tricky to explain. So basically follow this character named Richard, who he's living a pretty mundane life in London. He goes to work, he has a fiance that's kind of horrible, and basically one day he saves this like bleeding girl on the street, and she changes his life. Like, she is from London Underground, and basically when he saves her, he kind of goes there because people forget who he is, and it's all about this mission of this girl that he saved named Dor, and her trying to find, great, my battery is flashing, of her trying to figure out who murdered her family, and Richard gets thrown along, and it's all about that. It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland with a darker spin to it, and it's all about like London Underground. There's like these rat speakers, people that can go through these doors. It's really interesting, very like fantastical, but very easy to read. Like, it's a very fast-paced novel because it's fast-paced, and because the text is rather big for me, honestly. Like, I guess I've read a lot of fantasy this month where the texts have been hella small, so that this is like kind of big. Over halfway through, I'm just gonna power through and try to enjoy it. Like, I will talk to you guys after I finish this book to just try to wrap up my feelings in general about how I felt of taking a whole month to read one genre. Spoiler warning, I think you can already tell how I'm feeling about it, but yeah, overall I'm liking this book. I think I would like it more if I wasn't like fantasy overridden right now, I guess you could say would be the right terminology, or fantasy overrun, or kind of burnt out on it. I don't know, but yeah, I only have like 100 and something pages left of this. I'm gonna power on through, and I'll talk to you guys after that. Well, happy Wednesday. It's an unusual Wednesday. Usually I'm kind of out a lot on Wednesday, but I'm not because this little one is sick. I just got back from the doctor's because he has been sleeping very horribly, like waking up at 2 a.m., not going back to sleep till 5 a.m. a lot these past couple weeks, and especially these past few days. And today, like this morning, that happened, and he woke up and he didn't want to eat at all, which is very rare for my son. My son eats from sun up till sundown. He just eats all day. So the fact that he didn't eat his breakfast, I was like, something's up. And he's been laying down like this. He never lays down. He's a go, go, go type of kid. So I took him to the doctor. There was no ear infection or strep throat or anything, which I was surprised by because of how crummy he's feeling. But I don't know, I'm guessing it's just a cold because Matt has a cold, so I don't know if he inherited it from that. I don't know. Yeah, he's just not feeling good. Like, this is a very rare sight to see him just lay down and watch a movie. Usually he's running and screaming, as you guys probably already know that. I finished Neverwhere last night by Neil Gaiman. I really enjoyed it. I would give it a 4 out of 5. I told you guys what it was about. It's really hard to explain. Basically, there's a London, regular London, then there's kind of a underground London where it's like kind of sewers and different people, like they have like rat speakers and they have these people that have different jobs, and it's just kind of fantastical, very Alice in Wonderland-esque with a darker spin to it. And we follow a character that was from London above. He made it to London Underground, and he goes on an adventure with this character named Dor because she's trying to figure out who murdered her parents, and it kind of goes on from there. I would give it a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. I think I probably would have enjoyed it more if I wasn't so burnt out on fantasy, as I keep telling you guys. But I would recommend this if you are starting to get into the adult fantasy genre. I think this is a great book to start with, which I'm also surprised with because I thought this was going to be very complicated to read, but it's not. It's a very easy read. Like it almost kind of reminds me of YA with the way it's written. I don't know if that's like good to say or bad. I don't know, but I enjoyed it. It was a quick read. It's very fantastical, very whimsical too, and fun because it's like an adventure, and there are some scary points and stuff like that, but there was also really no insane world building. Like, you know, you just kind of accept this world for what it is, and you kind of think of it like Alice in Wonderland in a way. Or, you know, I don't know, I keep comparing it to that. It's probably nothing like that, but you get what I'm saying. It's very easy to get immersed in. There's not a lot of complicated world building. There's not any romance. There's just a straight up adventure, like this quest, if you will. So I think it's a great book to start off with if you want to dive into adult fantasy. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely plan to reread it when I'm, you know, not so burnt out on fantasy. So let's go over all the books that I read. The first fantasy book I read this month was Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Would highly recommend it if you're getting into adult fantasy for sure. It does have a little bit of a complicated world building, but he explains it very thoroughly and very easily, and you can really get immersed in the characters. And there's a character in this, the two main characters, one is like 16, so there's like the YA aspect, and one is like 20, 30 something, I don't know. There's the adult aspect. I would say very easy to get into if you're trying to bridge the gap between YA and adult fantasy. Then I read The Savior's Champion by Jenna, I can't ever pronounce her name, I'm so sorry. I gave this a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed it. It was very romance heavy, so in case you're a person that loves a lot of romance in their fantasies, I would highly recommend this one. Also very easy to bridge the gap between YA and adult. Not a ton of world building, so in case that's not your jam, and like not really complicated magic structures such as Mistborn, this might be the book for you. This is all about a competition and things like that. Like I said, very romance heavy, not very complicated to read. I enjoyed it. And then I read Into the Drowning Deep by Myra Grant. This is sci-fi, so it's technically adult. It's kind of fantastical, I guess, in a way. I don't know. I also gave this 4 out of 5. You'll sense the trend here. I really enjoyed this one. I wanted to give it a 5 out of 5, but the last quarter of it, or I'd say the last like couple chapters, really made me not give it a 5 out of 5. We'll go on a mission to figure out if killer mermaids are real, and I enjoyed it. It does have a lot of like sci-fi ocean jargon, so it is a little bit more complicated to read. Would I recommend it if you're just getting into the sci-fi and fantasy genre? Maybe, I don't know. I would say it's really heavy on the jargon a lot. That's just my opinion. But I'd say if you like The Martian, you probably like this one because that was very heavy on the jargon as well. Then I read The Behemoth, that was known as The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 as well, the unpopular opinion here. I would say this is not a great book to start off with if you're going from YA fantasy to adult fantasy. It is a very character-driven book. You're reading about a character's life and their progression of their life, so it's very slow-paced. There's a lot of world building, a very complicated magic system. So for more intermediate adult fantasy readers, so I don't think this is a good stepping stone. I enjoyed it. I think I would have enjoyed it. I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more if I was more in the know with adult fantasy. So I may reread this one in the future. I think I might, especially if I decide to read The Wise Man's Fear, which is the second book in it. So do I think it's a good stepping stone from YA to adult? Not really. I think you probably need to read a few books beforehand before getting into it. Like, I wish I would have read a little bit more adult fantasy, and then I think I would have been ready for this one. Last book, like I just told you guys, was Neverwhere. Again, I think it's a great stepping stone. So there you have it. Those are the 5 books I read for this whole month. I read all of them that I wanted to. I'm very proud of myself because they are some thick books. So I'll talk more in my wrap up about how I feel. Like, I don't know if this was a great idea. Like, I'm happy I did it, and I'm happy I pushed myself out of that comfort zone of just reading YA fantasy. Do I think I should have taken a whole month to read just adult fantasy? I don't know. I think I told you guys several times, each reader is individual. Me, I like to read several genres within a month. So for me, just to restrict myself to read one genre and a very, you know, immersive and intense genre at that for 1 month was kind of tough. I am very happy to go back to my kind of lighter reads because that's the type of reader I am. So I'm not gonna lie to you. It is the 26th, I think. We have like 4 more days in March. So I finished quite early. I'm gonna take a couple days break of reading, and then I'm gonna start probably basically something really cute and fluffy, because that's just what I'm in the mood for, because I read all these really intense, immersive books. So, you know, I'm happy I did this, and I'm happy I vlogged the process. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. But overall, I'm happy with the experience. I'm happy I did it, because I could say I've done it. I'm happy to have read a few of these books, to say also that I've read them, and I'm feeling a little bit in the know about adult fantasy. I'm just still trudging through. I'm still just dipping my toes in the water, so to speak, with it. And yeah, I think my next couple reads I'm interested in, I will tell you guys in case you want to know. I really would like to check out the Lies of Locke Lamora. I forget who that's by. I would also really like to read Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I would also really like to read Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. That's an adult one. And I would also like to check out The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss. So those are just a few adult fantasy books I want to read in the future. Maybe this year, maybe not. I don't know. I'm to see how my TBR game goes. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. If you enjoyed watching reading vlogs, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do so. And please tell me what you prefer. Do you prefer just straight up reading updates, kind of like this one was, with very few dashes of life in them? Or do you like reading vlogs that have, yes, reading updates, but have a ton of montages and life stuff in them as well? Would love to hear what you want to see, because if so, I will film it. But yeah, let me go to take care of my sick child, because I need to do that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.